Mac's World is your world. Every day we talk about the issues and topics that matter most to you. And as always, it's your voice we want to hear in Mac's World. So join the conversation by calling 515-244-0077. And now, here's the host of Mac's World Live, J. Michael McCoy.
It's showtime! 6 minutes after the hour on the 9th day of the 9th month of the 16th year of the 3rd millennium of your Lord and mine, Jesus Christ. Welcome to the show today. I'm J. Michael McCoy, back in the saddle for today at least. I might take next week off too. I love this taking time off. I never enjoyed it so much. All right, now we have a very busy panel today. And Joel, I'm going to need you to move over that way, please. A little more. Okay, good. Thank you. All right, now, today is a very special show. It's a show we've been planning for a couple of weeks. Frank's been planning it, ever since Trump got the nomination in Cleveland. I have 4 people that have all been on this radio station more than once before. So I would say these people are at least my friends. I mean,
I would say so.
Some of us closer than the other. Tim and I are passionate about the same project, which is personhood. Joel has become a regular contributor to this program because amazingly, you talk as well as you write, and you write really well. But most of the time, serious, dude, most of the time, writers, this is the way a writer sounds. Well, I thought that, I would take my, and then they use big words because they know big words, but they sound like this, and I'm from the Register, thank you. And then you get guys like me who can't write worth a hill of beans, but I sound good, and then I write something, and it's really horrible to read. So we've got 6, 7, 8, we got like 9 people in the studio today. And the most important person isn't here yet, because it's you. You can communicate with us on the phone, via the phone line at 515-244-0077. Don't think there's too many voices already. There aren't. Because really, we're Bob, who do you care, Trump or not? I mean, are you a hashtag never Trump, or are you a hashtag gonna vote Trump?
Probably vote Trump.
Okay. But you're not going to get all excited about it like Frankfurt is. All right. And I'm probably more in the camp that Frank's in, but I think I'm going to be able to differentiate myself a little bit. And these 4 clowns, they're just hashtag never Trump. And I got a call from shoot, I just had a brain Woody's, that you guys raised a lot of heck over there today.
We didn't go to
Woody's.
Woody's.
We weren't at Woody's. It wasn't us then.
Where'd you go?
Smoky D's.
That's what I meant. Smoky D's. I was thinking Smoky D's, but I said no anyway. So did you go out here to this one out on
2nd Avenue?
Second Avenue.
Yeah.
All right. It's good food.
Yep.
All right. So the show today is about hashtag never Trump. These are 4 people that would have been voting the Republican ticket if the nominee was someone that they believed in.
Had been a Republican.
You'd be voting for the Republican.
He's saying if they were a Republican.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll talk later about that. And I'm here to facilitate. It's like herding cats.
Good luck with that.
Now, if you just want your opinion known and you don't want your voice heard, then you can text Bob at the Service Legends Truth text line at 515-809-0993. I'll give you those throughout the day, and we can do this. All right, so here's what I want to do. And nobody knows what I want to do, right? We haven't talked about this. You've
Not
been
at
on
all.
the show a lot, Pat, that I don't tell people what we're going to do. It's the listeners learn at the same time you do. It's just the way it works. I want to go around the room, and I want you to each give me like literally 30 seconds, please, maybe a minute, of why you're hashtag Never Trump. So this is the elevator speech, not the on the debate speech. So Robert, I will start with you and simply ask you why you're going to go ahead and vote for Trump.
Well, like I said, I said maybe. So right now, I have to say that it looks like I will, unless something changes between now and Election Day. But I know it's a never Hillary for me. For
So
sure.
if you didn't vote for Trump, what would you do?
Well, I'll vote for other offices.
Okay,
and
so it's
forth.
not going to be Hillary, and if it ends up being not Trump, you'll still vote. You're like me, you'll still vote, but just the
right.
lead. Yeah.
But I'm leaning towards Trump right now.
Okay, Frank, why absolutely for Trump?
Well, because that's the choice. It's there's no third choices. You can sit home. You can vote down ballot. You can vote third party. It's all going to end up being the same vote. It's going to be for Hillary.
All right, Steve Riker, why are you a never Trump?
Christians and conservatives only have a voice in national politics through one party. That's the Republican Party. If we allow Trump to hijack the Republican Party and to make it into liberal light and exclude the voices of Christians and conservatives, in the long run, this does more damage to America than even 4 years of an absolutely terrible choice like Hillary Clinton.
Okay, Joel, why are you? And if it's just a ditto, you can say ditto.
Well, I mean, I gave you mine a couple weeks ago, right? It can last for hours, but the short form is I'm a constitutionalist. I'm a conservatarian. Trump is neither of those things. He's not going to advance anything that I believe in, and I don't owe him anything for that.
Okay, Pat?
Mine is a more analytical approach. I take a look at the promises that he's made. I assume we're supposed to take him at his word. If that's the case, the man has promised to violate the Bill of Rights 4 different ways. He's promised to violate the Separation of Powers Clause. He does not represent my conservative values.
Timmy?
Similar to what Steve said, but, I hold Christian and conservative as something more important than a bumper sticker or a campaign slogan. And so I think having Donald Trump represent those things is horrendous to anything that we actually say we believe.
All right. Jebediah, do you have any opinion in this game? I mean, I know you're a patriot, so I know you'll vote. Have you yet decided what you're going to do?
Yeah, I've weighed the consequences, pros and cons, and Trump for me.
Okay. And Chris, you want to just go up to a microphone? I mean, are you going to have any voice in this? You're just going to sit back and play with your phone like a little girl. Okay. I missed you
He's going
too.
to keep an eye on us, I think.
Yeah, it's
He'd
kinda
actually
fun.
be a really large girl. Just point of reference there.
Well, he's north of 200. We've all agreed on that. I'm sorry, I stole your line. All right, Frank.
Big, ugly
Well,
girl.
I don't know the personal lives of all of you, but I assume some of you have kids, if not all of you. Okay, this is how I view you guys from the Trump perspective. My guy was Ben Carson. Before that, it was Scott Walker. So Trump was not my first choice. But here's how I view all of you. You're like the rebellious child at home that you say to your child, me and Dad's going to go away from the weekend. Me and Mom's going away for the weekend. Your choice is to come with us or go to Grandma's. And the kid wants to say, no, I want to go to my friend's house. And you tell your child, no, that's not part of the choice. This is your choice. This is the choice. So I just view you guys as someone who you don't like the choice. You think it's a crap sandwich, but my response to you, mayo or mustard.
You know what? I completely agree. And this may be a historic moment here. I completely agree. The establishment in both parties looks at voters as children and tells them that they must do A or they must do B. And I agree. The difference is that I'm not a child. and I won't do A, and I won't do B unless you give me a reason to do one or the other. I think that's a tremendous analogy, and I second that.
Well, I would give you your reason. My go back to my original reason. If you vote down ballot and leave the presidential box empty, if you vote third party, or you sit home, because I'm going to lay the facts out for you. New York, California, and Illinois, for any Democrat that they roll out, is 102 electoral votes. So any of you know, whoever your candidate was, Cruz, whoever your candidate was, you know he would have an uphill battle, and he would most likely lose those three states. Do you know how many states a Republican has to win to make up that 102 deficit right off the bat? You know it's an uphill battle. So it takes all hands on deck, no matter who our candidate would be.
If we're going to start looking at the electoral map, though, okay, in every single election since 1992, 18 states representing 244 electoral college votes have gone blue. Now, you bring up California, Illinois, New York. Right now, Hillary Clinton is leading Donald Trump by 53% in New York. We're at the point right now where the popular vote doesn't matter. And that's what I get from a lot of pro-Trumpers is you have to, as an individual, vote against your conscience to put this man over the top, even though you know that he spent a lifetime as a liberal.
All right, we're gonna take our first break. You guys acted very well on the first break. I'm proud. You can stick around for another one. We're going to take this in baby steps. This is like the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, but it's the 12 step of Mac's world. And the first thing you have to do is you have to admit you're powerless over Mac, and your never Trump hashtag has become unmanageable.
Oh no!
Yeah, it's
just going to be you
a drunk
left.
thing. What? It's me gonna what?
I say if that's the rules, you might be the only one. You and Frank might be the only ones here after the break.
Oh, okay. No. You're all welcome at least through the break. All right, we're coming back. I'm J. Michael McCoy. Thanks for listening. It's hashtag Never Trump in Mac's World on The Truth.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Hi, my name is David Burrier, your Hope Coach. I host a live weekly talk show called I've Been There every Thursday afternoon at 5:30, right here on webcast1live.com, and on my weekly radio program Saturday mornings at 10 on Truth Network 99.3 FM. I interview common everyday people who have survived incredible life challenges and who testify to God's faithfulness in the midst of their storms. So join me as we bring a message of hope and encouragement. Everybody needs hope. I know, because I've been there.
Hey everybody, I brought Northern Lights Pizza! And it's got Graziano sausage!
Rockton Prevention is celebrating 25 years of creating a caring community. We want to say thank you to the tens of thousands of Rock High School mentors that have carried our message of health, love, and encouragement to over 1.5 million children, teachers, and parents. Our mentors teach children methods and skills to prevent bullying and drug use. Thank you to all the school administrators, teachers, and counselors for their opportunity to serve you. Rock on, fair citizens, rock on. This is Pat McManus for Rockton Prevention, the Richard O. Jacobson Foundation, and this station.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live. From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
21 minutes after 3 o'clock, 3:21, 9th day of September in the Lord's year 2016. J. Michael McCoy back in the saddle again, been off this week. I got to tell you, except for going out, the old Mac was a professional poker player, but I played all tournament stuff. I wasn't a cash guy. I'd pay my $100 or my $1,000, and then I'd play till I got out, and I did okay. I was the Iowa champion 2 years in a row. So I'd go out to Vegas and stay with Vic and Amy, and I'd stay for 3-4 weeks at a time, and that'd be my vacation. I have not had a vacation like that since, you ready for this? 2004.
Wow.
I have been working straight. Then I built Webcast One. Then I got sober. Then Jesus mugged me. And so last week I took some time off, or this week I took some time off, and you guys did a great job. I listened a little bit every day just to make sure you were doing all right. But for the most part, it was a nice week. And I got a new puppy, Moses. Here's a quiz. Raise your hand if you know who this is. Moses Zipporah. I know you do, Frank.
I heard the answer yesterday, so I won't cheat.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, Zipporah was Moses' wife, right?
Correct. Yeah. And Moses is a girl. Because I always wanted to name my next dog Moses. And I'm conflicted about that. I don't know if I've done the right thing.
So we're glad you didn't have a daughter.
What?
Then the next
we're glad you didn't have a daughter.
Yeah, right. Before the dog. Yeah, there you go.
Well, if I can, I'd like to respond to something that Steve said last segment.
Sure. As soon as I get everything set up, you can. So if you're just tuning in, this is a special program. I invited anybody, and you four were the ones that kind of came together and made a cohesive team. And these people are very outspoken on #NeverTrump. And I'll be honest with you, I'm just not the sharpest knife in the drawer. I don't get it. To me, you don't vote for Trump, then you voted for Hillary. I don't know how anybody does the math any other way. Now, you guys are all deep into a lot of, facts, and you got silly facts.
Oh, those facts things.
Don't let facts get in the way of that story. And so we actually have a 1, 2, 3 positive for Trump. I'm kind of positive for Trump, and you got 4 against. So we got a good crew in here today, 8 people. All right, so you go ahead, Frank, and go ahead.
Well, let me ask Steve, because he said something that I deal with a lot with people who I chat with on Facebook. This idea that somehow Trump hijacked the party. I want to ask Steve, what did Trump do to the GOP that the GOP didn't do to itself about the last 3 or 4 elections?
I get asked that question a lot, and so here's the thing that's unique about Donald Trump that no one else has ever done. One, we saw Donald Trump get 12 million crossover votes, Democrats coming over and choosing Hillary's opponent. What we also saw was the largest super PAC in world history, with the liberal media combining to give Donald Trump $2 billion. That's billion with a B, worth of free coverage above and beyond everyone else. Now, I don't know the numbers for everyone, but Ted Cruz had one of the largest super PACs, and his was 35 million. So compare that to the $2 billion in free coverage that Trump got. What you get is a massive overload of low information voters. Those are the voters that get their information from the television every night.
Yep.
And you get 12 million crossover Democrats, and now all of a sudden you've got a GOP candidate that has no resemblance to the GOP platform. That's hijacking the Republican Party.
Well, I don't think that's, classic hijacking. But let me throw this follow-up piggyback question then. Let's just mention the 600-pound gorilla in the room, Jeb Bush. How was your guy going to beat Jeb? Because Jeb had all the money in the world. He had the Florida primary moved up in the schedule, and he had the Florida primary made a winner-take-all. So it was all set up to give Jeb a lead right out the gate, and I'm just wondering how your Cruz guy or whoever you was for, because Cruz didn't start criticizing Trump until Trump knocked Jeb out with a left hook, calling him low energy. And when he knocked Jeb out of the ring, then Cruz turned on Trump like a vicious dog. Up until that point, Cruz was kissing his rear.
I'm not sure I would go with kissing his rear. I would say that, and at no time, actually, wait, let's back up. I know Max said we can chase rabbit trails, but let's back up. If we're going to talk about Cruz, we can. Yes, I mean let's get that. We can throw that out there. All four of us here supported Senator Cruz in one form or another, but it really has nothing to do with Never Trump. I was Never Trump long before I worked for any entity that had anything to do with Cruz. I'll tell you the exact day where I had enough and where I had the line, and that was in Fort Dodge when Donald Trump went on a 9-minute rant and called Ben Carson everything. I mean, he called him a child molester, basically, called him a sociopath, and made fun of his conversion to his faith. That was my last straw.
All right. You're listening to Max World Live here on 99.3 FM. You may be watching this online at various different places, live stream, Ustream. We all scream for Ustream. You got to do that when you do that, right?
You do, yeah.
Or at Webcast One Live, which is the production company that's producing this. And I appreciate you taking the time. All right, what I want to do is I want to go to a phone caller now. And this is Ken Crow. And I believe you're all familiar with Ken. Ken, you're live in Max World. How are you?
Hello, Mac. Great to be here, partner. How are you today?
I'm good, Ken. So are you a
By the way, I am fully supportive of the name Moses.
Thank you.
At least you didn't name your son Sue. Okay?
No. Johnny already did that, and he wore black. So are you a hashtag Never Trump, or are you a Trumpster?
No, sir. I was the first major Tea Party figure in America to endorse Trump 60 days before he announced his candidacy. Last year, I had met him at the event with Steve King in January of 2015. Listened to his speech. I was sitting on the second row right in front of the podium. His attorney asked me to write an article in opposition to a New York Post article that ran the next day in the Post. And I've been hooked on Trump ever since because I knew he was the only one that could beat Hillary. There was nobody else in the field of 16 that could have defeated Hillary. I know the Never Trumpers will scream, "Oh, Cruz could have beat me." Cruz, no, he couldn't. Cruz couldn't win one county in 4 southern states. How are you going to beat Hillary Clinton in highly demographic areas that are mostly Democrat? You're not. And it was going to take somebody like Trump. It was the only chance we had in the Republican Party to win was Donald Trump. And he knew it then, and he knows it even more so today.
All right, Ken, you just hang on with us because you're a good guy to have there, Frank.
You bet.
Well, let me go back and ask Tim something because I just want I understand. I didn't particularly like what Trump said about Ben Carson either. But here's my question: what was your feelings about Jeb Bush? Because Mike DeMastis said he was a Never Bush guy. Also, he's a Never Trumper, but he was never Bush. Because the Christian conservatives, here's what they were wanting. They didn't want another Bob Dole, they didn't want another John McCain, and they didn't want another Mitt Romney. So they wanted their place at the table. And what they were trying to do early on in the primary season was, instead of fighting over 2 or 3 good Christian conservative candidates, let's coalesce around one. Now, Cruz just happened to be leading in all the polls in Iowa and had overtaken Trump in the national polls at one point, and then all of a sudden the thumb came down from the pulpits and started coalescing around Ted Cruz. So I pick up Ken's point. I don't think Cruz could have ever beaten Jeb Bush. What was your feelings about Jeb, Tim?
Well, as far as Bush, he probably would have fallen under my ultimately never category. I will give Governor Bush his due respect. At least he's had some class and doesn't go into the personal attacks. But I was one of those that said I didn't really want a Bush or a Clinton. But I don't know that I ever just felt like I needed a shower. With Bush.
Here's what's interesting as I listen to both Frank and Ken is that they've both jumped into this argument and their argument is based upon winning, but neither one of them have talked anything at all about values. Neither one of them have talked about positions or intentions or what it is that Trump would do. It's simply about winning. And this is what we call a Pyrrhic victory. It's winning a victory, but at such a high cost that it makes it absolutely worthless. And that's what Trump is, because nobody has made this argument based on Trump's values.
Exactly. And I don't know if anybody else in the room has noticed this, but it's the pro-Trump side of the argument here that's mentioning Cruz the most. I thought we were the crybabies. We haven't brought Cruz up at all. What it is for us or for me.
Ken's trying to say something on there, I think.
Yeah, I want to ask you if, number one, you don't know what Trump's going to bring, okay?
Neither do you.
You know. You think you know. Well, I've asked personally, and I have to believe the man. But let's assume for a minute that he isn't quite as far to the right as you would like. He's a little more moderate in his governance. Look at what Hillary does, folks. Look at what we're going to get with Hillary. There's no way this nation will ever recover from a Hillary Clinton presidency. You know it, and I know it. We will be 5 generations. You will never get the Supreme Court back. Everything will be stacked Democrat across this land as far as the eye can see. We will be so far in debt that we'll never recover, not to mention the social aspects. At least with Trump, you've got, number one, the guy wants to make money, and he wants everybody to make money. So he's going to fix the economy, and to do that, he's going to have to reduce the debt somewhat. He's going to have to bring jobs back from overseas because the guy wants to make money.
All right.
Okay, I mean, that's his gig.
All right, Ken. Ken, hold on.
Go ahead.
I have to do this with everybody, not just you. I want you to stay on the phone. I just have to stop you. Now you're on the who from you four want to respond?
I just want to ask Ken if he is on record in front of everybody in the listening area stating that we should take Trump at his word and that he'll keep his promises.
Ken?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we should take him at his word that he's going to violate the separation of powers clause of the Constitution. We should take him at his word that he's going to violate the First Amendment. We should take him at his word that he's going to violate the Second Amendment. We should take him at his word that he's going to violate the Fourth Amendment. We should take him at his word that he's going to violate the 10th Amendment.
And I think we're done here.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
That's the end.
Done. No, we're not, and I'll explain to you why. Number one.
All right, hold on, Ken. I'm going to let you explain in a minute. We're coming up against a hard break. Frank, I'll give you just a second here.
Well, quickly, I'm not. I want to make it clear. I'm not voting for Sabbath school leader here. My main concern is religious liberty, and I think Trump is going to uphold my religious liberty more than Hillary Clinton.
All right, we're coming up on our second break here in Max World on a Friday afternoon. It's #NeverTrump. This program is being heard live on Ustream, Livestream, also at webcast1live.com and in the central Iowa area on 99.3 FM and on your TuneIn app at The Truth. We have an app. It's The Truth. You click on, it's free, by the way. You click on the app and you go to where it says Iowa listeners, and you pop on that, and you can listen to us anywhere on your smartphone in the world. All right, it's #NeverTrump. You're here. I'm glad you're here. You're the most important person here, the listener, live on The Truth.
Northern Lights Pizza's amazing garlic butter makes amazing breadsticks. Now available in 12-ounce bottles at Northern Lights, Hy-Vee, and Graziano's.
Northern Lights Pizza. I'm Brian Leach, owner of Service Legends, and my position is Chief Talent Officer. I'm Nicholas Wonderscheid.
I am Bernie Hobbs,
And I'm the service manager.
Marketing Director and Client Relations Manager.
Everything that we do is about ensuring that we exceed your expectations.
Our clients are important to us. 100% satisfaction.
We're not just focused on heating and cooling. That's the easiest part of our job, actually, is fixing furnaces and air conditioners.
Everyone that we come in touch with, we want to improve lives.
Bottom line is, we've got our installation guarantees, 25% energy savings guarantee, comfort guarantee, temperature selection guarantee, property protection guarantee.
100% satisfaction guaranteed, fixed rate or it's free.
All of those guarantees are backed up with a 100% money back guarantee to hold ourselves accountable to making sure that you get what you're after.
Just fixing the problem today. If they have another problem 5 days down the road, it's still fixed rate or it's free.
We use what's called straightforward pricing. Our technicians are going to give you an exact to-the-penny price on what it's going to take before they move forward with any repair. That way you know what to expect.
It's the same price every day.
No surprises.
If you get off work at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you come home, you realize that, oh, my furnace is broken. Now you need to call somebody out that night. You shouldn't have to pay more for that.
We're guaranteeing service 24/7.
We run afternoons, evenings, nights, weekends. We're staffed to work that.
Phone rings at 3 in the morning. You'll get one of our representatives answering the phone every time.
We're not sending you out to Timbuktu in some call center. It's our Service Legend team members, our mission control team.
I'll take a call anytime.
And then they answer the phones the same way during the day as they do at night.
It's a great day at your service company. How can we make you smile?
That's the only way to provide true 24-hour service.
When you're able to let somebody actually live in their home safely when they weren't able to do that before, where they don't have to stay up at night and worry about, is the heat going to come back on? Are we going to freeze the pipes? Is the baby in the room next door going to be sick because they got too cold? When you're able to help somebody overcome challenges like that, that's impacting a life. That makes a difference. I get goosebumps thinking about it.
I love the team. I love the people that I work with.
We have fun, but we work hard.
I call them my ambassadors of legendary service. If you could just envision what that is, that's who we're sending to your home.
They literally will call in, pick up the phone and call and say, hey, I want to talk to your manager. And I get on the phone, they're like, that technician that was at my house was the greatest technician ever. That's cool to me.
We want to brighten people's days.
Every person that we have going into the house has gone through an extensive background check.
Drug testing, we have a very thorough interview process that 1 out of 140 people make it through.
If we promise you something, that's what you're going to get, no matter what.
We're here when you need us to protect the safety and comfort of your family.
If you're not happy, we're going to make it right.
If we're willing to put 100% money back guarantee on what we do, what type of work do you think we do?
Give us a call. We're there for you 24/7, 365 days a year.
Enough said.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
All right, we are back. 3:38, 22 minutes before the top of the hour, 9th day of September. We're 2 days away from is it the 15th anniversary
15th.
of 9/11?
Yep.
I suppose everybody on Monday is going to, well, no, 9/11's on Sunday. So thanks for being here. So now we're not doing one of those silly, where were you on Sunday? Which, is always an interesting show to do, but it's about as interesting as watching paint dry. Unless you're talking to Bob. Don't know if you guys have ever heard Bob, but at noon on Sunday, live on the air, Bob is going to tell his 9/11 story. Bob was at 9/11 with the DMORT team. He was identifying bodies for a couple of weeks and walked into one of the cathedrals.
We didn't get to that story. Ran out of
you
time.
didn't?
Ran out of time.
Oh my gosh.
Now you set it all up for...
Well, but just finish the story. I mean, just real quickly, just tell the story. You walked into the parish or the Catholic church or the Episcopal church, whatever it was. It was the big church in downtown New York.
Well, it was St. Paul's Chapel.
St. Paul's Chapel. I've heard of him. He wrote a couple books.
Yeah, it was the chapel that was within the World Trade Center disaster area, and when the towers came down, it was not damaged at all, though items all around the church happened to be destroyed, tree was destroyed, and so forth. It was a respite center during the 9/11 event, and so people went in there to rest and to get food, massages, and chiropractic care, all of that. I happened to be down there because I was deployed by a mortuary team, and so I walked into the chapel to see if any of our team members were there, and I'm a believer, big-time believer, and when I went into that church, I sensed God's presence so strong. It was one of those things where I had to sit down and just experience God. Never felt that way before. It was the craziest thing because people were doing things and they didn't seem to notice anything. But I was like, whoa, this is something. This is pretty cool. And then I had to leave because my partner wouldn't come into the church. He was a Jewish guy and he wouldn't come in. And so we had to proceed down to ground zero to work with the medical teams, the disaster medical teams called DMAT. And so when I went down there, after getting chewed out by one of the doctors because I wasn't wearing a respirator, I met one of the EMTs, and we started talking. I found out that he was a believer. We talked within 5 minutes. We both knew we were believers, and the first question he asked me was, have you been to St. Paul's Chapel? And I said, yes. And he said, did you sense anything there? I said, yes. He says, let me tell you what happened to me. He says, I was approaching the chapel. I didn't go in. I was peering through the door, and then I leaned against the door of the chapel. And he says, I felt a bolt of lightning going through me. It was just a brick wall. He says, I felt a bolt of lightning. I staggered back and fell on my rear end. One of the pastors from the church saw me fall. He was concerned. He ran out to me, and he said, are you okay? What happened? And he just said, he says, I felt the power of God so strong that it just zapped me and I fell back on my side. And the pastor said, you did? And so I told him what I was sensing, and I said, I've never sensed that before. Well, years later, I found out, I didn't realize what it was. I wanted to go back when I was there, and I couldn't make it. I was too busy. But I found out that when George Washington was sworn in as the first president of the United States, in the Congress that was in New York that took place, they marched down to St. Paul's Chapel and dedicated the country to God in that chapel. Didn't know that. And so that was my experience that absolutely changed me. I mean, 9/11, every disaster I've been on changes me. But that particular one in St. Paul's Chapel really made a huge change in my life at that time. I've been changed ever since that time.
Wow. Bob, thanks for sharing that. All right. I want to read you something from Tamara Scott. Tamara is the National Committee Chairwoman of the Republican Party for the state of Iowa. Mm-hmm. She says, fact check. I served on the National Platform Committee. Unlike the last two candidates, Trump's people met with our committee's sub-chairs and supported our conservative platform and said they had no intention of moving it to the left. Yeah, Tim.
I guess that would have been after maybe April when Mr. Trump was on with Matt Lauer saying that he would make the pro-life platform or pro-life plank pro-abortion. And those words are all over the place. I've shared them. I know I've sent them to Tamara as well. But he said that he would make the pro-life plank more pro-abortion.
All right, I want to go to the phones where a gentleman that I met through this radio station, I think he's a retired pastor, Jeremiah from Jackson, Mississippi. Jeremiah, it's nice to hear from you.
Oh, no, I'm definitely not a pastor.
Oh, but weren't you on the radio with me once before?
No, sir. This is actually my first time calling in.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I mistook you for somebody else. So go ahead, Jeremiah. I want to hear what you have to say.
Well, my whole opposition to Donald Trump is not a personal one. I mean, I don't have anything against the man personally. The problem I have is if we look at his record and we look at the things he's done and then we look at the things he stood for and the things he has said, you don't know what Donald Trump you're getting.
Exactly.
The problem I have here, forgive my, I am called a ministry, so you kind of got it a little right. I feel like I want an election between King Saul and Queen Jezebel, and no matter who wins, Israel loses. And I'm not afraid of Hillary Clinton. I know that she's corrupt. I know she's going to do a lot of bad things, but the fear of her is not enough to drive me to vote for someone that doesn't stand for my principles. And I understand the Supreme Court is important. I understand our future is important. But if the cost of all of that is to vacate our values and principles that God has called us to, That's just something I cannot do. Now, I'm not here to tell anyone else what they can and can't do. You know, this is a relatively free country. Do as you please. But as for me, the reason I'm a never Trumper is I cannot, on good conscience, vote for the man. But that's just me.
All right, Jeremiah, I appreciate you calling in. Sorry I got you wrong on that, but brother, we're on every day, 3 to 5 on your internet, which is, I'm sure, how you're listening. And you feel free to call in any time. Well spoken. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, Jeremiah. All right, 515-244-0077. That's the number you can call in and have your voice heard, like Jeremiah just did, and like Ken's still hanging on. Or you can text us at the Service Legends Truth text line. Do you have a text from a little bit ago?
The question was answered already.
It was answered already. Okay, Frank?
Let me ask you all a blunt question.
You've been beating around the bush so far, Frank?
Well, yeah.
I thought the same thing, Tim.
There's so many libertarian
Well, no,
jokes in
this is going to be a straight question. MJ Kronfeld, I don't know if anybody knows who she is, was on Kevin McCullough one Saturday night. She basically, and Kevin was a never Trump person, and Kevin is now decided he's going to vote Trump. But MJ Kronfeld was on his show and says that she wants Hillary to win because they're going to try to set up for 2020, and they are going to, quote, take over, as Christian conservatives, they're going to take over the Republican Party and force their agenda. Now, first thing, that sounds real Christ-like, to force their agenda. But the blunt question to all of you is, are all of you hoping, like MJ Kronfeld, that Hillary wins because somehow you've got Ted Cruz 2020 lined up already?
Here we go with the Ted Cruz thing again.
Mark it again, Tim.
Well,
we should have put that out.
Listen, I only say that because the four of you are all self-admitted Cruz supporters.
Let's go back to the last time I was on this show, okay? We can pull it up, the last 5 minutes of this show, where Mac asked me, are you caucusing in February? And I said, I don't know. At that time, I just had a short list of candidates. He asked me who that short list of candidates was. I said it was Carson, I said it was Cruz, and I said it was Rubio. I didn't know if I was caucusing. I didn't know if I was going to vote because I didn't have a solid guy.
Okay, hold on. I'll start with you after we come back from the break. We're coming back. We're live. Ken, hang on. You guys are doing a great job here. I hope you feel good about this. We're coming back live here on The Truth on 99.3 FM.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Rockton Prevention is celebrating 25 years of creating a caring community. We want to say thank you to the tens of thousands of Rock High School mentors that have carried our message of health, love, and encouragement to over 1.5 million children, teachers, and parents. Our mentors teach children methods and skills to prevent bullying and drug use. Thank you to all the school administrators, teachers, and counselors for their opportunity to serve you. Rock on, fair citizens. Rock on. This is Pat McManus for Rockton Prevention, the Richard O. Jacobson Foundation, and this station.
Northern Lights Pizza, your home of the tasty crust. Our garlic butter sauce now available in 12-ounce bottles at Northern Lights, Hy-Vee, and Graziano's.
Northern Lights Pizza. Hi, my name is David Burrier, your Hope Coach. I host a live weekly talk show called I've Been There every Thursday afternoon at 5:30, right here on webcast1live.com, and on my weekly radio program Saturday mornings at 10 on Truth Network 99.3 FM. I interview common everyday people who have survived incredible life challenges and who testify to God's faithfulness in the midst of their storms. So join me as we bring a message of hope and encouragement. Everybody needs hope. I know, because I've been there.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live. From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Pretty good.
All right, 10 minutes before the top of the hour here on the 9th day of September in the Lord's year 2016. J. Michael McCoy. I don't know if you're listening and enjoying this conversation. I hope you are, but you guys are doing great. Thanks for, giving us some control here, because I know it's more interesting for the listeners this way. I know you guys just want to rant and rave, and I don't blame you. I do too. I want to take you all apart, but you're doing a real good job. Now, what I want to start with is you, Pat. We're talking about how you didn't know. This is what, December, November?
It was October.
October.
Yeah.
You didn't know whether you were going to caucus or not,
Right.
and I had to stop you for the break, so go ahead.
Because I didn't have a candidate. Okay? And I'm not going to just vote for somebody for the heck of voting for him. Back then, Hillary never made that short list of candidates. So, no, in answer to your question, Frank, no, I don't want Hillary to win. I also don't want Donald Trump to win. I was asked back then by Mac what I thought of Donald Trump. I said in that same show, he's a really good reality star. And I still feel that way.
I remember you saying that.
Yeah.
The question, the way that you're phrasing it is, would you rather drink arsenic or anthrax?
Right.
And if you phrase it that way, then it becomes a no-win question. And I say, well, no, I don't want to drink anthrax. And you say, oh, well, obviously you must love arsenic. That's not the case. Your question is only valid and only carries any significance if you accept the premise that we've been told that this is a binary choice and only a binary choice.
Well, one of those two candidates is going to win.
Mm-hmm.
That's, so.
But it's not a matter of wanting either one of them.
Okay, I understand that. Okay, so the rest of you three, do you have an answer to that question? Do you hope Hillary wins to set up your candidate, whoever your candidate may be? I won't mention the candidate that I mentioned in the past. Do any of you want to see Hillary win for your candidate to be set up for 2020 to run against her?
Go ahead, Joel.
No, I have no desire to see that woman win. She's a terrible candidate, as is Donald Trump. I don't have to like either of them to be able to look at them both and say they're terrible choices. Neither of them is going to benefit the future of the country.
Ditto.
Let's try this in reverse. Let's take the names Hillary and Trump out of it.
Ken.
Yeah. Ken, go ahead. I want to give you a couple minutes here.
Oh God, you're having to peel me off the walls, man. I'm going to off the roof. Number one, 99% of what these guys have said is total fiction. Okay, let's start with where we left off the last time I was able to speak. The Constitution.
Yeah.
Give me the last president that was a constitutional expert. Barack Obama. Let's go with the one before that. Okay, the one before that. You got to almost go back to Jefferson, okay, the guy that wrote the Constitution. No, I mean, you none of these presidents are constitutional experts. So Donald might very well, and he has, said a few things that are questionable. Okay, I get that. He knows that. The White House has an entire legal staff, an entire legal team that will keep the president from breaking the Constitution. That is a
like
fact.
The current one?
Got a dozen lawyers. You have a president that is a constitutional expert that is usurping the Constitution. The legal department can't do anything about that when the president wants to do that.
How quaint is that? Calling subverting the Bill of Rights questionable. That's got to be the most politically correct thing I've ever heard anybody say.
Ken Crow really is the master of understatement here.
Yes.
Well, the guy, Barack Obama's a felon as far as I'm concerned. But you're worried. Ronald Reagan, what did he know?
Ken, let me ask you.
Hold on, let him finish.
All right.
You guys are sitting up there calling Trump a reality star, yeah. What was Reagan, a B-rated movie star?
We were able to watch.
He was a Democrat before that.
Right, but we were able to watch him run a state as a conservative for 8 years before we even thought of electing him to president.
It's 16 before he was elected.
Right.
All right, Ken,
yes.
I'm going to let you finish, okay? And nobody interrupt him, please. Go ahead and finish. You got about 30 seconds.
Okay, thank you, Mac. Look, Donald Trump has never, you got to remember one thing, okay? Donald Trump is not a politician. He does not say politically adept things that you guys want to hear out of a politician. You look at Donald Trump and you're grading him as though you would another politician. He's not. Keep this in mind. What has the Tea Party fought for 8 years now? We wanted an outsider. We wanted somebody that was not a politically groomed politician. We wanted somebody that was one of us, okay? And we got him. It just so happens the guy, he's a little outspoken. You may not love the messenger. I think it's the delivery of the message that you hate more so than the messenger.
All right, can you?
Honest with you.
Can you hang on? Hold on, everybody. Listen? We're going to be up against a break.
Sure.
And then we're going to have a 6-minute top of the hour news. I'm going to let you go, and would you call back about 6 or 7 after?
I'll do my best.
If you want to. I mean, you don't have to, but if you want to continue to participate, you're able to do that.
Thank you, Mac. Appreciate it. Guys, I love y'all.
All right, bye-bye. All right, Tim.
I just had a question I was going to ask Ken, and it's a question. It's fine. I just was like,
Sorry, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. And I've asked Ken this question before, and he has actually twice unendorsed Trump. It's hard to find that article on his site anymore, but he did unendorse Trump. I believe it was after the Carson thing, or was one of the other things. But my question has been, we get asked all these questions. I have a question, and nobody will answer this question for me. What is it that somebody has to do or say that will finally be your last straw?
Right. What's your line in the sand?
Yeah, I told everybody when that was for me, and that was the Carson attack. But when does somebody what do they have to do or say before even that, the magic R, I like to call it, doesn't cover that up?
I'll answer that.
All right, Frank.
He can insult me. He can insult my family. He can insult my mama. I don't care. I want Hillary beat. So I don't care who he insults.
That's not what he asked you, though.
So what we're hearing from the Trump camp is that as long as Trump stays 3 millimeters to the right of Hillary Clinton, it doesn't matter what his values are, what his plans are, or what he's going to do.
He may be to the left on Hillary on certain topics. That doesn't matter to me. He's to the left of her on the war.
All right, Joel, go ahead.
I think that you just summed it up, really. My objection to this whole Trump supporting mentality is exactly what you just said. A guy can come in and insult your family, insult your wife, and as long as he's not named Hillary Clinton, you don't care. See, I believe that precludes honor. I believe in something called honor and character. And when you vote for somebody, when you sacrifice the honor and integrity of yourself and your family, you've lost it to the point that no political solution really will matter.
The country is more important to me than my personal feelings and somebody slighting my feelings.
Okay, hold on. We got to stop. We're up against a break. Y'all take a big breath. Girls' room is down the hall around the corner. Boys, you're going to have to go into the little room. All right. I hope you're enjoying this. It's good conversation. It really is. Good adult conversation. And I hope this is something you enjoy doing. We're coming back. We'll do it next hour. It's your voice I want to hear. We've got some texts that we'll get on there. If you've sent us a text, I've got it. I just didn't give Bob a chance to read it. We'll do a little housekeeping when we get back. I'm J. Michael McCoy. If I haven't told you lately, thanks for listening. Really, seriously, thank you. I love this job. I couldn't do it without you. Right here on The Truth. 99.3 FM.